Welcome to the Paragon Financial Partners Podcast, where we discuss the markets, our strategies, and how to live better today while planning for tomorrow. Hello, and thank you for listening to the very first episode of the Paragon Financial Partners Podcast. I'm here with our firm's founder and principal, Evan Shorten, and we're excited for our new podcast series.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening. I'm very excited to launch our podcast so that we may better reach out and communicate with our clients and listeners.
Evan, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have been watching the equity markets and how they've been moving lately. In the middle of September, we started seeing an uptick in volatility and downward movement. Why do you think the markets might be behaving this way?
Well, this time of year traditionally has a higher level of volatility. However, this year in particular, I think there are a number of things to take into consideration. One, slower world economic growth. Two, the position of the Federal Reserve on their intention to increase interest rates or not. We're getting very mixed messages. And ultimately, there are many geopolitical concerns, including terrorism.
So, given what you just told us, are you concerned about the recent market movements at this point?
No, I'm not concerned. However, I firmly believe that we need to proceed with a greater level of awareness. And when I say awareness, I'm referring to the national debt, the fact that the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve are propping up the financial markets and muting short-term interest rates, recognizing that we do have a shrinking global economy, and the presence of terrorism. So as the markets are pulling back, and if we are in a mode of correction, which is defined as broad markets dropping by 10%, we need to recognize where our portfolios should be reallocated and maybe taking advantage of specific sectors that have corrected greater than others. So ultimately, I do believe equities are still a better place to put money, both from a yield and a total return perspective.
Well, it's good to see you're confident, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners feel comfort from that. With that, whenever we experience a couple days of downward movements or a lot of volatility in the equity markets, we tend to get clients who call in and sometimes want to sell out of some of their positions and increase either their cash or bond allocations. What would you tell someone with that mindset who might be a bit worried or stressed out?
So let me first say that I do not believe in market timing. I also do not think the right move would be to sell a position or a segment of one's portfolio after poor performance for a short period of time. Time and time again, that has proven to be a mistake. On the other hand, what I do believe in is uniting your psychology of money, which can be viewed as your money memories, to your financial makeup, which is really your asset allocation and rebalancing your portfolio, and also taking into consideration your tax situation. So if your asset allocation is currently in line with the exposure that you're comfortable with in respects to stocks versus bonds, then that's great. The last thing you want to do is mistime the market instead of planning appropriately for your life expectations.
That's great feedback. Thank you, Evan. Are there any last things or comments you want to share with our listeners?
So thank you very much for listening to our podcast. I very much appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts and insights with you. Please feel welcome to share the podcast with any of your loved ones. And most importantly, remember, no one is going to care more about your money than you.
Paragon Financial Partners, Inc. is a registered SEC investment advisor. The broadcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as a solicitation or offer to purchase or sell securities. The financial strategies and guidelines discussed herein may not be appropriate for everyone, as each individual circumstance is unique. Please review all tax information with your tax professional. Please review all legal information with your legal professional. We hope you enjoyed the Paragon Financial Partners podcast. And again, thank you for listening.